Oftentimes, when we think of spirituality, we think of it something as a special path meant only for a chosen few, those who have a bent towards it or who are meant to pursue it. And I used to think the same way before my experience of awakening. I mean, I was sort of an atheist, and I had no typical interest in spirituality. And how this world portrays and designates spirituality is something like a niche, like people who belong to a certain religion, certain faith, or certain belief system. Only they are the ones on the spiritual path. Like after my experience of awakening almost 2 years ago now, I realized something, that even living this day to day life, doing the things that we do on a normal basis, and in the most quintessential sense, this experience that we call life is nothing but spiritual. Everything here is that one reality. There's nothing apart from it. So even this so-called mundane or material life that most people live in this world, even that is a form of spirituality, because the ultimate truth does not exclude anything. There's not something spiritual and not spiritual. The only difference that lies in the different types of experiences in this world is only one thing. In fact, two things, sorry. Ignorance and knowledge. Ignorance of the experience from the perspective of that the thing or the object we are experiencing, or anything or an experience that we are having in this life, when we take it only as the experience alone, from the perspective of pleasure, pain, or whatever it is, from the qualitative perspective, it is just that it is experienced in isolation, ignorant to its divine essence. But when we experience our real nature as pure being, pure consciousness, pure awareness, we realize that all experiences are nothing but a reflection of that one reality. All experiences are included in it, even the worldly ones. But when we focus entirely on the qualitative aspects of those experiences and ignorant to their underlying divine nature and divine essence, we can consider it to be a non-spiritual experience or non-spiritual state of our being. But when we are aligned and totally grounded in our spiritual essence, and no matter what we are experiencing in this world, we'll realize one thing. Again, we'll realize two things. The presence of that ultimate truth, the ultimate essence of our pure being in each moment of that experience. It's like a background in which we are experiencing all our experiences. And that is the only thing that is shining forth truly. And the other thing is that we experience each moment, each thing in this world, in each object, whatever it is, we experience it without attachment. We experience it and then we move on to the next. But when we are experiencing anything in this world in ignorance of our real nature and just totally invested in the thing itself that we are experiencing, we become attached, so invested in it, that we forget our divine nature, the real essence. And that is the sin that we commit. ultimately in this world. Forgetting and being ignorant to our divine nature and experiencing each moment, good or bad, pleasure or pain, and being lost in that experience is the ultimate sin. But when we live our life day to day moments, even the most mundane things which might not matter much, but we see them as a reflection of the divine. We see the divine in each of them because that is us. All of it around us is experienced only because we are aware. We are a sense of the divine. We are consciousness. And it is that consciousness that reflects all around us. When we are in that pure being and experiencing everything, we are truly spiritual. And essentially, that is what spirituality is, being grounded in our real nature, being close to that true essence, and experiencing that this world as it is without holding on to it, just flowing through it. And even if you are doing the most mundane thing in this world and you're not dedicating your days to the spiritual rituals or certain practices, but you are grounded in your being, you've realized it, and you're experiencing your being in every moment, you have reached the highest stage of spirituality. I'm not deriding the spiritual practices. They have an important role. They are really essential to one's growth on this path. They helped me honestly. But sometimes we make the mistake by following those paths, by following those rituals or practices. We become attached to the practices themselves and forget the underlying essence that we are to achieve through those practices. The end goal, which is to realize our real nature. But when we have realized our real nature, whether we choose to continue those practices, and we must if we want to, especially if we do like them, enjoy them, we must actually. But they do not define spirituality in essence. Realizing our real essence is the real thing. All other things around it are just the means to the end, and the end is what matters. And oftentimes, when we get attached to the idea itself, whether it's spiritual faith or spiritual beliefs or our practices, we become so much entrenched in it and ingrained to it that we forget the real goal of those practices, of that belief or faith system, which is to realize God, realize our real nature as the divine. And even if, no matter how noble or how spiritual the path may seem from the outside, but if it's not acting along the lines of the goal that we're supposed to achieve, then we have lost the way. And that's what happens when we we attach ourselves to such certain belief systems, and we fight the rest of the world to protect those systems, protect those belief systems, just for the sake of them, and forget that the divine is everything around us, even if they believe in something else, or if they don't align with us, our belief system. That is why spirituality truly must be anchored to the goal, which is to realize the spirit, which is to realize that infinite divine, and not the means, not the path itself. And the spiritual path and the practices themselves, they become a part of our life if we continue to do them. And that concept of spirituality, that becomes the background. And with time, with more and more experience and in abiding in our real nature, that that truth as pure being, that becomes the foreground, that becomes the center. to which we are anchored all the time now. And personally, with for me, this has been a journey as well. Like how my experience has evolved, and to abide in that pure being, and slowly it is all that is evident in every experience. Hope you gained something valuable from today's video. I truly appreciate you being with me today and sharing these thoughts. And I'll see you in the next one.